If y'all don't want to go to work, just put this shit on right now.
What makes a great skill? I think that's the question that is on everybody's mind these days, especially with sailing coming out. And the old school team put out their blog with their update on where they're at with sailing. And, a large majority of the community has been just, stating their feedback. And, there has been some positive feedback, but a majority seems to be negative. So, I want to be able to put this video together for not only for the community, but for the old school RuneScape team on the odd chance that, they find my channel. And I just want to give some constructive feedback that actually might be useful rather than just saying, oh, I don't want the skill. Oh, I wanted taming. Shamanism is better. Let's cancel sailing, right? Like, there's a good chance that this skill's coming to the game. Say probably 95% chance that it's still coming to the game, right? Like the old school team has been working on this for over a year now, and they're still looking to get an alpha or a beta out for the community to test. And I think that there hasn't been a lot of constructive feedback from what I've seen. It is a hard skill to get behind, especially when you think about what a new skill means for RuneScape. Like, there's so many questions that need to be answered that haven't even been answered yet. But before we start the video, before I start breaking down that what makes a good skill question, I just want to get right into the direct feedback for the RuneScape team, for the development team, because I know they're busy. So if they find this video, I want them to actually kind of take away some of my points. And the first thing I kind of want to say is, based on the movement that you guys have shown us previously, I think turning on the spot would be better than doing like U-turns, pathing. Because if you think about what sailing is going to be, it's just movement on the water, right? Sailing's opening up the oceans for exploration. We can already explore the land. And if movement feels weird on the water, nobody's going to want to do it, right? Nobody wants to run around the game. So why are people going to want to move around on the water? It needs to be as smooth as possible. And I think if the boat just turns 90 degrees on the spot, I think that's fine. That's going to make the movement a lot easier. Just navigation-wise, it's going to translate well from walking to sailing. The movement's basically the skill entirely, so it needs to be smooth, and it needs to be quick. And I think just turning on the spot is an easy way to do that. And I think I think a large majority of the community is going to want that once the skill is out, if it's not already a part of the skill. You don't want to move anyways, right? Like, you want the shortest path possible. Next point is, don't make the skill tedious to train. In that video, in the video on the blog you guys posted, it looks like, I don't want to be prayer flicking my sails to trim it to turn, right? Like, I don't prayer flick for a reason when I play this game. I'd leave my protect melee up, and that's about it. I go AFK. This sailing should not be any inventory sail trimming or any prayer flick type movements or clicks to get around. It should just be click here, boat goes. That's kind of what it is. Because if you think about movement on land, right? The skill comes from clicking the right place at the right time, right? So that should kind of be how the skill gap in sailing is as well, right? Like, if somebody can if somebody can prayer flick, that shouldn't have any effect on sailing. Like, I guess prayers. So the correlation I'm getting at is, prayers are not related to sailing, right? But the ability to prayer flick is a certain type of movement. Click the prayers, switch tabs, click your prayers, and then switch back, click the tile you want to go to. that is way too much for sailing. You should just click and go, right? So I don't think sailing movement should be any different than on land movement. You know, I click a tile, I go there. You shouldn't have to trim any sails. There shouldn't be any inventory required, you know, apart from like a hammer or whatever you need to steer the ship, right? You know, you run into a rock, you need to repair your ship, whatever, that's cool. But the skill from sailing shouldn't be, can I repair my sail on time, right? It should just be, am I clicking the right tile at the right time? That's all it should be. It should be very simple. And the last thing, this isn't so much feedback, but more is kind of how you guys are sharing the information. I think a large majority of the community actually is excited for a new skill, right? And what I'm getting at is the progress you guys have shown now. It's good progress, right? Like I'm a developer. I know this shit takes time. And I think you guys have made great progress. It's just how you guys are showing the community, I don't think is the best. Like you guys are being too transparent almost. And for the majority of updates, that is phenomenal. Everybody loves your transparency, but with sailing, there has to be some sort of mysterious aspect to it, right? We need to sell this to the community, right? Like they already voted on it, but at the end of the day, if they don't like it, log off, stop paying membership. I'm going to play a different game, right? Like, you know, you're going to get the odd people who are just, you know, everybody's addicted to the RuneScape in some aspect. But if this skill isn't fun and it's not appealing to anybody, there's going to be a lot of the community that just leave. And I think to get around this is you need to treat this skill, you need to every update you give on it, it needs to be a new sales pitch, right? We're selling this to the community. Why do you guys want to play this? What is this going to solve for the community? Right? Like we need to offer a clear progression for the skill. You know, what sort of paths is a 1 to 99 going to look for different players, right? Like people who play the game for a living, streamers, right? Like they're playing 8 to 10 hours a day. What's the path going to look like for these different streamers, you know, who are more skill based? You know, is a level 3 skiller going to be able to get the same XP rates as a max main? It's these types of questions. They don't necessarily need to be answered, but you need to be able to give enough information for the player to put things together. And I think that hasn't really been happening. You know, a lot of the updates have kind of just been like, this is what we're doing. This is how it looks right now. It needs to be more salesy almost, I think. And we need tangibles, right? Like what is this skill going to offer us apart from moving in water? Like is moving in water the only thing the skill is going to offer us? Because we need to know what you can't just promise, oh, you can get raids, oh, you can get a new boss, because we can get that shit anyway, right? Like why do we need a new skill for that? We need to know what what makes this skill special, right? It's pretty obvious. You get to go in the water, you get to sail a boat, but what RuneScape features does this skill bring? You know, are we going to be able to quick travel with our boat to a new island, or are we going to have to sail each time, right? Like quick travel, I think would be a huge opportunity that the community would love, right? We're all about making everything efficient, fast travel. So I think those are kind of the key points that need to be answered for the skill. And if just breaking those down, I think that would open the community up for a lot more positivity for the skill. Because right now, this, like everything I've seen, it's just, oh, the skill's a mini game, oh, the skill's gonna be shit, oh, right, like I don't want it. When in reality, you know, it does seem very mini gamey, but at the same time, it does seem very skilly, right? Like these concerns from the community, they don't need to be directly addressed, but I think that they do need to be addressed in some form. And I think treating the community kind of as a person we're pitching this skill to, I think that would be a great idea. You know, market it, right? Market this skill. It needs to be marketable, right? If you can convince the community that this skill is what it is, right? And get everybody excited for it again, I think the response from the community is going to be 10 times better than what it is now. It's hard to look at, right? Like, it's hard to look at the feedback from the community and still be excited for the skill. And I know I know I didn't really get much into what makes a great skill. I think I'll save that for another video. I ended up just talking about my direct feedback to Jagex. So if the odd chance, if the RuneScape team, if you guys are watching this video and you guys made it this far, I appreciate all the work you guys do for this game, for this community. There are a lot of great people working at Jagex, and continue doing what you guys are doing, and making this game that we all love to play, and continue making it better, because you guys have a proven track record of making great updates. The past 10 years, phenomenal updates all around. Even if there's a bad update, it's fixed within the next week or two. I have no problem with any of the J mods or anything. Everybody does fantastic work, and I love seeing how active this community is, with our weekly updates, and it's cool to see. And especially in this type of community, there's so many passionate players, and I think the message from a lot of these players is a good one. It's just the message isn't very conveyed very well. So I hope my ideas from this video got represented well. I know I'm not the best speaker, but I hope that my thoughts are kind of able to help give some constructive feedback for this skill. And if you're not a Jagex moderator, thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think about sailing in the comments. Let me know if my opinions are valid. If they're invalid, let me know what you guys think about what Jagex could do differently about not only sailing, but how they update us on sailing. Because I think that's a big reason why the community response is negative. So don't forget to like this video if you guys liked it. Drop a dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe if you're not. And until next time.
Stand on business, yup. Stand on business, yup. Stand on business, yup. Stand on business.